Let me tell you how I got stranded in the middle of nowhere with no one else around. So Tuesday this week, I had to go to a governmental building to sort something out for my student loans, blah 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 blah. I had really no idea where it was, and my moped is also broken, so I had to take the bus. Since I didn't really know where it was, I had to look up where the bus would go from and what bus I had to take. But luckily, here in the Netherlands, we have this website that sorts this all out for you. I basically type in where I am and where I want to go, and it tells me exactly what buses I have to take at what time. I love getting nosebleeds while filming. Basically, the way there, it went totally fine. I drove over there, waited way too long in the waiting room of the governmental building, even though no one was actually doing anything. It was totally fine. So, but then I, of course, wanted to get back home. I brought my laptop to do some work in the bus for school, and I looked up on my phone, what stop do I have to be at that will take me back home? And it said, in order to take the bus home, I first had to go back to the central station, and they said, bus 8 from this specific place will take you back. I don't think that's open for interpretation in any way, and a very, very clear instruction. So I walked up, stood at the stop, and just waited. At some point, it was already actually time that it should have been there already, but it wasn't. 5 minutes later, it still wasn't, and 10 minutes later, I was still there waiting for bus 8 to arrive. So I thought, you know what, it can be late, and the construction workers around me started joking about the fact that I probably had it wrong. Well, of course, I had total proof that it should be there at a certain time. You know what, it was fine. I didn't have to go anywhere. I just had to finish some school work, which I could do all day because it was already very far, so I didn't worry at all. Then the bus 8 pulled up, and I thought, great, that's the bus I need to take. So I asked it to pull over, got on the bus, and sat down. Here in buses, you have these little screens that show you what stops are next, and then for about the 5 next stops, and then it shows you the last stop it's gonna arrive at. So I looked, and at my phone it says I'm gonna have to be in that bus for about 7 minutes. So I thought, you know what, 7 minutes, still a good time to do some work on my laptop. So I got it, started typing, and the bus started driving. Before every stop, you hear it like through an intercom, like ping, next stop, blah blah blah, next stop, blah blah blah. And I kept hearing stops and stops, but never was it central station. So I thought maybe the thing was wrong, the bus was also a little late, maybe it just doesn't come up yet. But after about 20 minutes in the bus and still not having passed central station, I was starting to get slightly worried, because how wrong can that system be? So I looked and I saw like these totally different stops on the screen that I don't actually know, and I thought, that is slightly strange. Where am I going? I'm sure it's fine. I'm still going to the central station, right? So I just looked back down, started typing more of my schoolwork on my laptop. The thing was, more and more people started to leave the bus every stop. And every stop, I started to recognize where I was less and less. It still said that I was in my home city, but actually a part I had never been in my life. At this point, I started to worry slightly. So I got my phone back out and looked at the travel instruction thing. And there was a button that said show all the stops in between. So it doesn't show just where you get in and where you get out, but also all the things in between. So I thought, you know what, I'll just click those, look at the screen, and I'll see that the ones that I have on here are also the ones on the screen, which means that I'm currently headed to the central station. So I clicked it, looked at the screen. They were completely different. I don't know, but this bus 8, which apparently was some sort of other bus 8 than bus 8 I was supposed to be in, which also left at the same place, so it's very confusing, was bringing me to a vastly different place. So I thought, oh no. So I started tweeting a bit about it, like, where am I? I am very confused. The thing was, I did not want to admit to that bus driver that I had gotten on the wrong bus. He would totally judge me for getting on the wrong bus, even though it was totally technically, I was gonna say the right bus, but that sort of faded away. Even though I was technically exactly at the right bus, at the right place, at the right time. Basically, we just continued driving, and I just looked at my phone and was like, oh no, where am I going? So I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna recalculate a next stop where I'm gonna get out and say, I want to get back to Central Station. Then I saw that we were in some sort of very, like, the bowels of the city. I had no idea where we were. And I thought, you know what, if I get out here, who knows what kind of buses pass? Maybe I even have to wait for this same bus to get, like, around everything it has to go, and or a next bus 8, and I'm in the same line again. So I was like, okay, I can't do that. I can't get out here, because it was like in the middle of some sort of street. It was like, there was no one around. I was like, you know what? I'll just pretend that I'm totally heading into the right direction, continue writing my schoolwork, and get out at the final stop. So we were driving, and I saw that the final stop will be somewhere not even in my hometown, because after every stop, it does, like, between brackets, it says in what town it is. But then that one didn't say my town at all. So I was like, okay. And I looked around me at some point, and everyone in the bus was gone. I was the only one there. I was like, where are we headed that absolutely no one has to go there? And suddenly, like, the bus took a turn. I was like, why are we here? Because he sort of like left the city. Like, I already knew he was gonna leave the city, but he sort of also left the place where actual houses were built. And I was like, oh no. Are we getting on the highway? A few minutes later, we got on the highway, and I was like, oh my god, no. How far am I being taken away from my hometown? Like, the lucky thing is I don't have to pay for buses because I'm a student, and in the Netherlands, if you're a student on a university or a college or whatever, you get a card that allows you to travel for free with every sort of public transportation. I just hit my screen. So I was like, you know what? I have time. I don't have to pay for it. I'll just remain completely calm, stay sitting in this bus with my laptop and pretend everything is fine. So I just sat there like, schoolwork. Yeah, I'm totally in the right bus. But in the meantime, I was like, where am I? Where am I? I don't recognize any of this. So we got out and it was like, final stop, wherever. And I was like, I got my laptop back in my bag and I walked past the bus driver. I was like, thanks for the ride. Like, as if he actually brought me to the place I had to go. And he was like, you're welcome. Have a good day. And I got out. I was like, I vaguely recognized the structures, but that's because there was another station in another town that resembled it. I was like, have I ever been here? I have no idea, but it wasn't in my hometown. I was like, how far am I gone? So I just walked around and I was like, I saw this sign, because we have these electric signs that tell you where buses are headed and in how many minutes they're actually leaving. Like, that's super useful, by the way. And it was like, my hometown in 30 minutes. It was like, 30 minutes? Am I gonna have to sit here outside for 30 minutes? But then I looked slightly to the left and it was like, the same hometown, 3 minutes. And I was like, yes! So I basically ran over to that bus and I got in. I was like, hi! Yes! Click! That was me checking in with my cool card thingy. So I got in the bus, I got my laptop, I was like, this is gonna take me back. Yes! You know what happened after the first, like, the bus that took me there took like half an hour in the wrong bus. We got in that bus and he like started driving. In 5 minutes, I was in the central station. I looked, I was like, excuse me? Turns out it was a town directly next to my home city, to the extent that, you know, in movies when people are lost in like a forest or something and they've been walking there for weeks and weeks and they've crossed the whole place and everything, but they've never reached civilization again. And then in the next scene or something, someone walks by with their dog and they're like, huh? What do you mean? They're just like, there's like a town 10 meters that way, and it's exactly the 10 meters they didn't walk because they walked the other way. But if they walked 10 meters the other way, they would have gotten to civilization and in a town and everything. So that movie person was me. Whoa! But hey, let me know, have you ever gotten in the wrong bus or train? And if you like laughing and positivity and want to see my comedy videos twice a week in your subscription box, consider subscribing. Every Saturday I post a comedy story to get to know each other a little bit better, and on Wednesday I post a comedy video to solely entertain you. All of that because I want to light up your day and make you smile. But above all, I really hope you like this video and I would love to see you next time.